And we are live. Hey everybody, this is Roberto Blake helping you create something awesome. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing another round of YouTube channel reviews for all of you. So typically what we do is we review 5 to 10 channels here live. We've done these mostly weekly, for the most part, or we try to, and I believe to date we've reviewed over 5,000 channels live on this channel over the years. I think that we've definitely reviewed over a couple hundred channels this year for sure. So definitely looking forward to another round of channel reviews. We'll probably get to 5 or 10 of them tonight since it's running a little late here. But we do those via super chats. The rules are, of course, in the description. We've got our wonderful mods also handling the chat as well. Oh, excuse me. And we'll be keeping track of those in our sheet here. You'll have to excuse me for doing this a little later in the evening. I also had to feel like I was up to it. Been having a little bit of some combination of like cold throat and a toothache. So was up in the air as to whether we were going to get to this tonight. But we also, while we're waiting on our channels to submit themselves for reviews tonight, we'll cover a little bit of what's going on for you in the creator world. Interesting update for those of you who are doing live streaming. There's actually an update. I'm going to be covering this in an article on awesomecreatoracademy.com. I'm debating doing a YouTube video about this. I want to do a little bit more research, but I'm thinking I will make a YouTube video about this. We got some news that there's going to actually be an application of the no tax on tips for influencers, streamers, content creators, that this is going to apply to us as well with regard to donations submitting to us from our audience. So donations submitted to us through our audience through things like Buy Me a Coffee or bits and tips on YouTube, super chats, super thanks, super stickers, those sort of things. Apparently we're going to be able to claim a deduction on those for our taxes in 2025 tax filings. That's what we're hearing right now, officially. And it looks like it's going to be up to $25,000 if you're getting that through donations. If you're an influencer, content creator, streamer, and you're getting donations from your audience, you're getting fan funding from your audience that way, you're going to be able to claim up to $25,000 of that for no taxes when it comes time for your filing, which is tremendous. We've never seen anything like this before. So I will try to keep you up to date on that, but exciting news, I think, for anybody who is doing live streaming, for anyone who's doing content creation. So as we learn more about that, I will definitely keep you in the loop. So that's something to think about here. Again, I think that's actually really exciting. I think that's just something that is good news for a lot of us. Most of us probably don't make $25,000 in super chats, donations, Twitch, TikTok, donations, anything like that. But whatever we get, knowing that a significant amount of it will be able to be tax-free, hey, who's going to complain about that? I don't know. I'm not going to complain about that. So just thought I'd let you guys know and have a heads up on that. Also, we do have a sponsor for our channel reviews tonight. It's our friends over at 1 of 10. If you haven't checked out 1of10.com, they have one of the best tools you can use right now for YouTube strategy. Here's an example of outliers related to my Creator Gear Guide channel that they're recommending. This is a camera gear channel, primarily cameras, lights, and microphones, but mostly cameras and stuff like that. Planning to upload a review for you guys of the DJI Mic 3, doing a comparison this weekend between the DJI Mic 3, the DJI Mic 2, and the DJI Mic Mini. And so these are the recommendations that it's giving me based on my channel. And since that channel has to do with camera gear, this is actually very good in terms of the types of recommendations it's giving me on outliers. If we were to ask it to, hey, do an idea generator for me based on the Creator Gear Guide channel. It's probably going to do a pretty decent job with that. We'll check in on that a little later and see what it comes up with. But again, thank you to our friends over at oneof10.com for sponsoring tonight's channel reviews. Looks like we have the first submission is going to be Mary's life journey. So we're going to definitely make sure we get to you. Thank you for the super chat. Mary, if you could let me know a little bit about your channel in the chat before we get to it, that would be great. That'll be super helpful for us. The mods have you in the sheet, so we'll be getting to you momentarily. Want to try and get maybe one or two more queued up before we get going. But thank you for that. We'll make sure that we get you in. And we'll add that to our lineup here. Just get that copy and pasted in. Yep. Sounds good. And all of our resources and links, everything will be linked in description. Also, right now we're running a discount on the brand deal starter kit. Right now, for those of you trying to do brand deals and sponsorships, we put together a really great resource for you. It's really usually 99 bucks. And we have a discount code running for that. So that should be in the description. The mods will probably put that in the chat for you as well. For those of you looking to do brand deals, we also run that discount for the YouTube starter kit as well. For those of you who are launching a new YouTube channel or you're a small YouTuber, usually under 20,000 subscribers, we find that that'll be really helpful. For those of you who can't afford to buy anything, we offer the Creator Foundations course completely free. It's a over 8-hour course that helps small content creators under 20,000 subscribers. We also have our free Creator Foundations Discord for you guys to interact with each other and to get feedback and to get some constructive criticism on things like your thumbnails and titles and to ask questions. I try to pop in there once and twice a week. Usually I pop in very briefly in the morning on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, very briefly in the morning to answer a couple of quick questions, but I'm not in Discord all day. I'm mostly working behind the scenes, doing coaching calls, or I'm answering questions on X. But we do have the free Discord for you guys to interact with each other so that you can get feedback from other creators. A lot of you are not ready to join Awesome Creator Academy, so we at least set up the Discord for you guys, and we also set up the free Creator Foundations course if you're not ready to join us in the Awesome Creator Academy Pro group. Also, shout out to Linnell from Poverty to Paradise, who was one of our early channel reviews earlier in the year, who became an Academy Pro group member. She's now at 100,000 subscribers. So Katie, I don't know. I know that you're in the chat as a mod. I don't know if you can look up from when Linnell with the YouTube channel from Poverty to Poverty Paradise did her first channel review and how many subs she was at. I want to say she was probably under 20,000 subscribers when she did her first channel review with us, and now she's at 100,000 subscribers. We have Kevin Ask Papa. He had, I think, less than 3,000 subscribers. I think he's over at 30,000 subscribers now. He did a channel review, and now he's also part of the Awesome Creator Academy pro group. So we're definitely seeing a lot of people who have gotten some feedback, gotten the constructive criticism, shown up to the office hours meetings, asked questions, were able to get some answers to what they should be doing with their content for packaging, strategy, things like that. And we've seen that it's been working out. So definitely want to encourage you guys to check that out if you haven't already. Links are in the description. Let's go ahead and get into our review for Mary's life journey. So we have Mary's life journey here. 1,000 subscribers, 400 videos. You have another channel here. To start off, what I will say is for your channel, you want to adjust your channel layout to where your videos are actually on your YouTube channel homepage. That way, when you share it with someone, whether it's me or somebody even shouts you out, or you ask people to go to your YouTube channel, they should see your videos right away. So I would make sure you add some playlists to your YouTube channel homepage. You can do that in the customization part of YouTube in your studio dashboard. That's going to be on your desktop. I know a lot of you are doing everything from your phone. A lot of you need to be using and taking advantage of YouTube's desktop. It really is something that you need to use. You cannot, unfortunately, do everything from your phone when it comes to YouTube and do it properly. You do need to make sure at least once or twice a week you guys are logging into the desktop app, and you need to make sure you're learning how the desktop app works. So make sure you're doing that. So let's look at your actual videos here. And you said you have a lifestyle channel. This looks like this mostly focuses on expression and you just talking about things that interest you. And you're talking about life over 50. With this channel, I'm not sure what your goal is. You didn't leave that for us in your super chat as to what your goals are here, but most creators, they would like to get more views. They would like to grow an audience. The main thing is you do have to decide at some point, is your main goal to make content for the audience? Or are you just documenting and expressing and sharing a journey and exploring yourself, and you just want to have a community that supports you? For a lot of people, that's all you really want out of this, or you don't realize that that's what you want out of this if you're doing vlogging. Because the truth is, if you're going to go into vlogging and sharing a personal journey and just the things that you want to do, especially for those of us who are over 40, it's a little harder to go full-time YouTube in that particular way, because the things we'd have to do would be much more about growing and attracting an audience than purely self-expression. And the thing is, it's possible, and I don't know this for sure, but it's possible that what you're dealing with your channel is that, you know, you just want to talk about where you are in life and talk about life after 50 and express yourself. So what I would say is the most we can do in a situation like that is package the content a little better and package it a little bit more consistently. For example, I would commit to some kind of color scheme at least, and at least possibly using one font or two fonts in a thumbnail and a style, because even with these vlogs, you're switching up the style of the thumbnail every single time. It's also not necessarily the most well packaged thumbnails. Like, a lot of the text when you do this is harder to read, for example. So if you're going to have text here, we at least need to make sure it's easier to read. You're probably doing a lot of this in Canva. I'm going to recommend you use a drop shadow, or that you put something behind the text, but also you want to use minimal text. What I mean by minimal text is only 2 to 3 words on a single line, and usually only 2 to 3 lines of text. You want people to be able to scan this at a glance. You want them to be able to just kind of scan it over with their eyeballs and be able to read it. Most of these first handful of thumbnails, except for Life Lately, almost all of these, except maybe this one, the text is a little hard to read and the thumbnails feel a little bit cluttered. It's also visually hard to get a sense of what the videos are about at a glance. I'm going to show you one of my students from Awesome Creator Academy, Becoming a Farm Girl. Cassandra actually does really, really good thumbnails. You guys aren't in the same niche. She has a lifestyle niche, but her lifestyle niche is around homesteading, farm life without the land or the livestock. This is just to show you that you can do vlog-like content around lifestyle content, and that it can be at a glance easy to read and easy to understand and not overwhelm the audience, just to show you what good thumbnails can look like even from a Canva standpoint, and that you can make interesting thumbnails for vlog-like content and express yourself. So again, I know you're not going to do her style of content, but there's no reason you can't do the style of thumbnails with regard to just how clean they are and how well they demonstrate um, an idea and make that idea accessible and easy. I think Cassandra came to us with like maybe 10 or 15,000 subscribers. She's at over 300,000 now. She's doing great. She's killing it. But yeah, I'm not saying you have to do this type of content. I'm just saying that for those of you trying to do lifestyle and vlog content, especially those of you who are creators over 40, in your case, 50, you want to take more of this approach to the packaging at least, because the thumbnails have to get clicked on. I don't have a problem with the life after 50 vlogs, although I would put life at 50 at the end of the title, and I wouldn't necessarily call it weekly vlog in the title. I would lead with the most interesting thing about the video. So with a lifestyle vlog, you want to talk about the most interesting thing that you have going on or that you're doing that people in the video would relate to. So again, a good example, even though she's doing different content, it is a different lifestyle brand, would be what Cassandra is doing here, just to give you an example of better packaging. So if you're going to do something like grocery shopping tips and a haul and so on and so forth, I would lead with that, but I wouldn't say a couple of days vlog and life at 50. I would put life at 50 vlog at the end of the title, not the beginning of the title. And then I would lead with what the most interesting part of this is. The other thing is, this is really cluttered in terms of communicating an idea. You can have multiple things going on in a video and not be cluttered. So for example, this is a grocery related video that Cassandra did. This would be a better idea, similar to that. Same thing with this grocery shopping video. So you can see that there are ways to execute a grocery shopping video that don't look visually cluttered. What you have here, it's visually cluttered. We can't see your face. It's hard to read. So you'd want to definitely package that a bit better. In terms of stuff that looks clean, your banner is very clean. So, the aesthetic here is very nice. It's very well done. You don't have to use that same font, by the way, that handwriting font in these. But again, you want to do something clean and something with easy to read fonts. Again, this one, you have a chat and garden update. You have the text blocking your face. You never want to do that. If you're going to show yourself in a thumbnail, there's not much point to it if the text is going to end up blocking your face. So you want to do that. You want to address that in your packaging. So those are things that I think could be done differently here. Your most popular video of all time was Cozy Small Living Tour. So this proves that with all the views this got, this proves that people will watch your content, but this is packaged so much better. Look at this. The text, is not overwhelming the image. The image is easy to understand. It matches the title. So this was executed much better. Same thing with the living room video. Again, it could have been easier to read, but again, not terrible. But I would say that the thumbnails can be stronger. This gorgeous fall decorating, again, you focused on what people would care about more and most here, which is the decor, and so that worked out. So I would say the visually appealing thumbnails are the ones that are going to be more minimalist, cleaner, and easier to read. I think that the other issue is just how cluttered a lot of these are. So that would be my advice when it comes to your channel review and what could be improved here. Mary's life journey. Again, I think that your content is you wanting to express yourself. Nothing wrong with that. There is a niche audience for that. You saw that with your your cozy tour video. it could be a couple thousand views. I think you got 30,000 views on that. So there can be an audience for that. The audience over 50 on YouTube is a smaller audience, but it does exist. Women over 50 do use YouTube. My mom uses it all the time. So it's possible to do some lifestyle stuff there. Realistically, if anybody's going to do a lifestyle channel and express themselves, if they're not relating to the broadest audience possible, there is a limit to just how far that growth comes. But that growth can be improved if the thumbnails look good, they look consistent, they're easy to read, the text doesn't cover up your face, and they don't feel cluttered. You want to go with a minimalist Instagram aesthetic when it comes to building a visual lifestyle brand. And you can have life over 40. Just put it at the end of a title. Put it to the end of the title. Because the thing is, there's no point trying to identify with a broader audience if you're over 50. If you're over 50, yeah, you need to have that in there because that's kind of the point and that's the lifestyle perspective that you're sharing. I don't think it's worth trying to reach a broader audience for the most part because they won't relate to the content for them, to be honest. Most people in their 20s are not going to necessarily watch content from people their parents' age. That's just how it is. So being an older creator, you do have to cater to an older audience. There's no point shying away from it and wishing for a broader audience, because by broader audience, we mean people younger. And if you're not relatable to that younger demographic, which just anyone older than them typically is not, there's just not a point to worrying about it. And we always just have to kind of accept, here's the ceiling for where we're at. And that's just kind of something we all, as creators, have to deal with. Your niche can have a limitation. Your demographics can have a limitation. There's any number of things. Not everyone's going to be a 1 million subscribed channel, and that's fine. But we do have to say that, okay, it'd be the same thing if you were only making a channel to cater to moms, for example. If you're only doing a channel catering to moms, there's a limit in that niche. If you're only catering to people who specifically are going through adoption, there's a limit to that niche, right? So whatever subject matter we're doing, or even whatever audience we most would identify with, does put somewhat of a ceiling on how broadly appealing we are. So everyone just has to take that with a grain of salt. But what do you guys think? Do you agree with my review of Mary's life journey and how to address the packaging? I think the cleaner packaging from the cozy home tour is a good example of more of the direction that the aesthetic of the channel can do to attract the most audience. Even with only 1,000 subscribers, that video is only 1 year old. It has 30,000 views. It's much more, I think, what the direction of the channel could be like to get some growth and to appeal to people. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the chat what you think if you're watching live. Let me know in the comment section if you're watching the replay. And there you go. So Mary's life journey. I hope you got some value out of that. And some perspective. Again, don't feel discouraged. There's just, I don't relate to content creators that are under 20 either. So, don't worry about it too much. But the nature of most platforms is there is a significant audience. I mean, most people in the median audience for the internet is roughly people in their 30s is the median audience. Millennial generation is the majority of people alive and on the internet. Well, over 30. Millennials and Gen Xers actually combine. Zoomers, the Gen Zs, they come afterward, and then Gen Alpha. But the majority of people online are over 30, but arguably under 50. Very much under 50. The majority of people online are under 50, but they are over 30. So, people do generally have to relate to people within a range of their age bracket. I usually say it's about 10 years up, 10 years down is kind of the stretch. The stretch is 10 years up, 10 years down. More realistically, it's usually 5 years down, 10 years up. when I was 30 to some degree. I could still relate to people who were 20, 25 when I was 30. But at 40, relating to people who are 30 is about the upper limit, and that's stretching it. 25 is a long shot. Redoing your thumbnails now or moving forward, correct the thumbnails. Some of your videos, you might as well correct the thumbnails on them because it's not going to hurt anything. It won't guarantee help. It won't be guaranteed to help anything, but it certainly won't hurt anything. And it will give you practice, and practice makes progress. So I do believe it's worth that. Also, it'll just make the channel look more uniform going forward. So there's not a downside to working on your thumbnails and updating past thumbnails. Just take it with a grain of salt and don't expect wild swings in views from updating old thumbnails. But the main thing that allows you to do is get in some practice. So just think of it from that perspective. We have a crazy super chat come in from Matt, WordPress Doctor, WPress Doctor. Thank you for the $119.99 euro, which is about 140 bucks US. So like super appreciate you. That is wild. Thank you so much. And his message is, Roberto, learned so much for you throughout the years. Just create a brand new multicam studio, including teleprompter. Nice. So new videos will be very different. Please give me feedback about the channel page. God bless. Appreciate you. God bless you too, Matt. So we'll go ahead and get your channel review up. We're just going to check on some housekeeping in the chat. We've also got Real Sync, so we'll get you in the queue as well. So let's go ahead and get these channels queued up. Let's see. Yeah, packaging is everything, you guys. It is the biggest barrier for most of you with your content is either going to be your packaging or the ideas themselves, because those things are a proxy for value to viewers. And we filter everything through our value system in terms of what's going to be a priority for us. So we have priorities, preferences, prejudices, and problems, and that's how we filter value, usually in the form of topics, titles, thumbnails, and relevant timing. All right. So let's check out Matt, WordPress Doctor, and see what's up. So we have WPress Doctor, as in WordPress Doctor. We have Matt here. Every week a new tutorial. So I love that that's right there in the banner. Very well done. Gorgeous banner here overall, I think. I think this is a really solid banner. Really helps say what it is. Good branding. Strong profile pic. With calm step-by-step in-depth tutorials, I help you create and optimize your WordPress website. Perfect about section. Let's see, you've got a featured video here on the homepage, how to create a website, and then you have some of your best videos there specifically for that. Then we have the latest videos, SEO, search engine optimization playlist, very well done. WordPress security, nice. Google tutorials, excellent. So yeah, the layout of the initial homepage is very well done, Matt. So is the branding as far as the banner and the profile pic and the about section, very well done. Let's see about your videos. Very smart in terms of the layout, and you are using a photo system for your thumbnails with regard to the poses. What I would say is, Matt, One thing you could, this is a minor nitpick. This is just because YouTube has some compression for the thumbnails. And Katie, by the way, we got so many reviews set up so early. Let's open up, for now, let's open up an additional 2 slots. So we'll go to 7 since we are already halfway through the reviews we have queued up. And there looks like there's one more slot. Let's just go ahead and open up 2 more slots. We'll go to at least 7 tonight, and we'll see how we feel. But Matt, sharpen, do some extra sharpening, especially around the eyes, nose, mouth, and hair when it comes to the photos in the thumbnails here. Because it's not something you're doing wrong. It's just that YouTube compresses the images so much when you upload that can make it not feel quite as sharp. So feel free to sharpen up a little bit, but overall, very well done. I would include a more of a variety of poses for the headshots here because it looks like you're using the same 5 mostly repetitively. But you've done a really good job, in my opinion, in the last 5 months of drastically improving the thumbnail quality. I love the consistency. I love the at-a-glance fonts. For tutorials, what you're doing is basically perfect. Just avoid anything with the bottom right-hand corner when you can, because bottom right-hand corner is where the YouTube timestamp is. So it can make some of your stuff harder to read. So consider a reverse thumbnail strategy where you put the photo on the right and point inward toward the left and have the text left to right, top to bottom, just to avoid the YouTube timestamp issue. That can be helpful. You did it very well in this thumbnail, so that's an example. Overall, very strong on the branding here. Also very strong on your playlist strategy. Your content pillars already seem like they are locked in. The big issue is you really want to lean into what is very popular now, and what's very relevant to people now. If you haven't already, you might have. Probably, I would do an update. You have the most popular videos you've done. Do an updated SEO Yoast for 2025. Google My Business for 2025, if you haven't already. And do an updated Google Analytics guide for 2025 as well, because you should do all of those annually, and you should do the Secure Your WordPress Site tutorial for 2025. Anything that you've done with the dates in them, you should always do an annual series. So for you and anybody else watching, you should always do an annual series with that. I also think that you should do a video on the best free WordPress plugins for blank. So the 10 best free WordPress plugins for this, the 10 best free WordPress plugins for that, the 10 best free WordPress plugins for etc., etc. Like you could probably do a multi series out of that, or at least do a best of that once or twice a month and never run out of content, to be honest. Those things are massive search fodder, and they also get clicks when people are scrolling. So very strong to do that. Let's see. Out of your best content, let's see if there are other interesting outliers here. You did the Divi hidden tips and tricks. I think you can do a series of videos that are derivative of this, but are updated videos since you did this 2 years ago. And I think you could really milk a 10 Divi features, top 10 Divi features, top 15, top 20 in 2025, or 25 Divi features in 2025. So this is something that I think you could actually still take advantage of, even though it's 2 years later, for sure. I also think a WordPress beginner's guide every single year is in your best interest in terms of complete guide. Same thing for some of these other adjacent things in the SEO world. At SEM Rush, you did this one already, 16,000 views, well done. So again, those are things you definitely want to look at doing here. I also think it's smart that to some degree, one of the things I see you doing is you are branding some of your series so that they visually go together. So you definitely want to continue to do that. I would also use individual tutorials on the most individually popular WordPress plugins. You tend to do that, but just capitalize on it and make a list of them outright so that you know that you're getting through and chugging through those videos on the list. From a consistency standpoint, I think you would benefit, if at all possible, from doing a 2 video a week schedule if you can make the turnkey setup. You said you were making this frictionless studio setup. If you are capable of doing that, then what I would suggest is that you manage to if at all possible, try to get your momentum to where you can get to 2 videos a week. Plan your videos in advance, batch record them if you're not already. I assume that you are, but I would batch record your videos in sets of 3 or 4 whenever possible. And I would try to go to a 2 video a week schedule for these videos, if at all possible. That cadence will absolutely increase your overall growth. Let's see what you've got going on with shorts. For the most part, these are fine. Plan from an FAQ standpoint. Look for the most searched items and the most auto-populated searches in Google around WordPress, and make a list of those until you have a list of 100 questions that people always ask. Turn every one of those questions into YouTube Shorts. What you're going to want to do is you want to film these shorts like you're doing here. And the way that you would approach these is film these shorts in batches of 10 or 15 shorts at a time and film them all at once. You could do that without even starting and stopping the camera if you want. Then upload those to Opus Clip. Have it do the clipping to make the individual question answer videos. And so then you've got 10, 15 videos at a time. That should probably take you all of 90 minutes round trip between editing them in Opus and filming them to begin with for the YouTube Shorts. And that will give you an abundance of YouTube Shorts. And I think that if you just answer the top 100 questions directly associated with WordPress, especially the ones that auto-populate in a Google search, that you will have everything you need when it comes to YouTube Shorts. I think for your live streams that you should do something similar to what I'm doing right now. Weekly website reviews for people weekly, if you possibly can. So I would do the 2 videos a week, batch a bunch of shorts. You don't have to upload all of them at once, but you could also schedule them. I also would, also weekly, go live 1 to 2 days a week. Go live for about maybe an hour to 90 minutes and review people's websites, and that also can add to your community and the engagement, also leads for clients. The other thing you might consider doing is doing a WordPress clinic live stream once or twice a month and do that live on the channel. Also, take the live stream thumbnails as seriously as the regular video thumbnails. And I think that that would be a good place for you to start with that. So again, overall, very well done. Really impressed with this channel overall. So if you guys are doing anything WordPress, check out Matt. He's going to be able to help you. Super in-depth tutorials. This is solid. So overall, well done. I think you've got some actionable advice here. But that is my review of Matt, the WordPress doctor. What'd you guys think? I think a tutorial channel like this still has a lot of utility. There are a lot of people still trying to build websites using WordPress. There are a lot of people who have legacy sites in WordPress. I have a legacy WordPress site for my personal brand. Awesome Creator Academy is, of course, on Kajabi, and I have some other websites and other places. But WordPress is a simple, affordable thing for a lot of people. So there are a lot of people who need help from what Matt offers, and it's perfect. It makes sense. As a former and soon to be once again tutorial guy myself, gold star Matt. So really appreciate what you're doing here. But what do you guys think? Do you agree with me on this? Again, I think that the ideas I gave him for some evergreen content and some series that he can constantly rehash are going to be very strong for the channel long term. I think everyone is underestimating searchable short form content and owning the top 100 questions in your niche, especially the top 100 questions that are in the auto populate of Google web search of like, how do you or how does WordPress or what WordPress plugin like, and if you look at the autocomplete for whatever phrase in your niche around questions, you'll find like 100 questions that you could do, and then you turn those into YouTube Shorts, you batch record those, you pump those out, and I think people would be shocked at just how many views that sort of thing can get long term with evergreen shorts, how that can help grow the audience, especially if those questions have a long form full tutorial that you can use from the related shorts link. It might benefit it there. So integrating that is something I think would work out really well. So just something to consider. But what do you guys think in the chat? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Would you do anything differently with Matt's channel? Let me know in the chat if you're live. Let me know in the comment section if you're watching the replay. So there you go, Matt. Yeah, you said that with the live website reviews, it's a time zone issue. Yeah, just figure out a time zone you could think that will work for you. You don't have to do them the time that I'm doing them here. You said you do this full time. I think you could figure out some version of a time zone that works for you. You know, Nick Nimmin figured out a time zone that works for him in Chiang Mai over in Thailand. So I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out. But if that's the case, maybe it's not a once a week thing. Maybe it's a twice a month thing. And then maybe there's some live stream WordPress clinic where you can do something where you show how to solve a problem in real time as well. Yep. I believe we have 3 more slots for channel reviews. Because we opened some up. We had the Real Sync submit one. We had Rooted in Essential Oils submit a channel review. So we'll make sure we go to those. But right now I want to go and check in on your questions in the chat. And like I said, we have, you know, 3 more slots open and remaining. Again, thank you and shout out to our mods. Shout out to any of the Awesome Creator Academy members in the chat as well. Shout out Zach over on Twitch. Yeah, no, I think Matt has a great channel. Hopefully that information and advice was helpful, not only to him, but for some of the rest of you watching. If we don't get more requests for reviews, we'll do these last 2 and we'll wrap up with just 4 or 5 of them if that's all we end up getting tonight. We won't push for 10 tonight since it's super late, and I also didn't give you guys more time in terms of a heads up for that. There is something I wanted to run by you guys. I haven't put together a graphic for this yet. But it is something. I'm going to try and find the tweet that I did and share the tweet with you guys, because I think it's going to give you guys perspective, especially for those of you who are live streaming, because it's going to be the statistics and data that I compiled on what would put you in different percentages when it comes to live streaming. Because like most people think that to be a top tier live streamer, that they need to have like 1,000 concurrent viewers watching them or 1,000 peak viewers. And it's just not true, because the far majority of people will never get that. So I actually did compile some data on this for both YouTube and Twitch streaming. And I'm going to end up putting this in an article on Awesome Creator Academy. Eventually, we will make a graphic around it. Because I think that if a lot of you just really understood, like that it's like absurd to think that you're going to have like 1,000 people watching on stream. It only looks like that's the case because everyone's watching the same top 50 or top 100 live streamers, and everyone watches the same top 500 YouTube content creators. And so it creates this reality distortion bubble where everybody thinks that if they're not getting these wild, outlandish views or this big audience or community, that they're failing or they're doing something terribly wrong. But that's not really what's happening. It's just that you guys are promoted, because it benefits the platforms, mind you. You're promoted seeing the top 0.1% and top 0.01% of content creators and streamers. So that's what's happening. And again, it just makes a lot of you, not fully realize, hey, I'm not doing so bad. So I do have the numbers here. Let me see if I can pull this up. Hang on. Oh, I need to do that differently. Hang on. Share screen. Oh, that's not how I wanted to do it. I wanted it to do a different layout. We'll live with this. But 90% of streamers can't get 10 viewers concurrent or peak, and 99% of streamers can't get 50 viewers concurrent or peak. This is true across YouTube. This is true across Twitch. So like, that's the case. Having 50 people concurrent or peak puts you in the top 1% of all streamers. If you can get 10 people concurrent or peak, that puts you in the top 10% of all streamers, believe it or not. But to be in the top 0.1%, that crazy outlier number, that's like having 2,500. And so therein is the difference. That's how big the gap is. And that's how wild things are. And so you shouldn't feel discouraged and you shouldn't feel bad that it feels like a struggle. If you get 20, 30 people watching you on YouTube for a live stream, you get 20, 30 people watching you on Twitch for a live stream, you're winning. You're absolutely winning. It is that difficult for live streaming. for YouTube views, 88% of videos never get 1,000 views. 90% of creators never get 1,000 subscribers. 97% of creators never get 10,000 subscribers. Like, and it should, you feel like, well, if the bar's on the floor, why aren't more people successful? It is that difficult, and there is that many options. And like I said, most people consolidate because most people are watching entertainment. We're older, maybe we're not trying to do entertainment content, maybe it's more education or lifestyle, but the competition is fierce. There are channels out there that people already are aware of that they can watch, that they know guaranteed there's a good video that they're going to get from them. So people also have a lot of biases in how they pre-select content. Packaging is a big deal, and a lot of you are smaller. You're just not good at photography or design, so the packaging of your content can be a little more challenging to get right. So it's all these things. So if you have felt discouraged, I wanted to show you guys that to make things more realistic for you and to encourage you a little bit so that you just understand what reality looks like. Because when you keep seeing, all you keep seeing is the top creators get all the views, and when you see everyone is just watching the same people, that's where it can feel really discouraging. So just wanted you all to be aware of that. But let's go ahead and see Real Sync's YouTube channel. Let's go ahead and do his review. So we got Real Sync here. Cut the noise, sync with the real. Very cool tagline here. Amazing banner. Really great logo here. Dope conversations, reactions, and cultural bridges. Okay, so it looks like you just started. If possible, when you get your workflow up and running, if you can do your content, especially since you're getting traction here, this is impressive as a start. You've only done 2 videos. You're getting this traction. I want you to imagine if for the last 2 weeks, because I know you're learning everything Real Sync, imagine for the last 2 weeks, if you'd been able to do daily. Now imagine if you were able to get 2 videos out every single day or 3 videos out every day. That's what you should be looking for. Now, for copyright reasons, I can't watch the videos in full, but my assumption looking at the hover preview is that you're doing these reactions to content and that you're using OBS probably as your workflow. What I would tell you is I would start doing daily reaction content. I would live stream it to YouTube and Twitch at the same time using OBS, and I would cover and do maybe 3 or 5 reactions live on camera as your workflow using OBS. Then I would cut those up, post the VODs to YouTube, package up the thumbnails, and then I'd be posting those daily or 2 to 3 times a day in a 24-hour cycle. And there you go. Then you have a reaction and commentary and cultural channel. And you'd be using the same methods as Asmongold. You'd be using the same methods as Anton Daniels. You'd basically be using the same method as Tim Pool. That's the workflow for those of you who want to get into the reaction or commentary space, is you live stream your reactions and commentary using OBS, and you simulcast to Twitch, X, and YouTube at the same time. You can do this with OBS, or you can do this with StreamYard. If you want to use StreamYard, I have a link in the description for you. So you can do this with OBS or StreamYard. You can simulcast to a couple of platforms, cover and react to with split screen and screen sharing. You can react to 3 or 5 stories or videos. Then you cut up your reactions into those individual segments, post the individual segments scheduled on your YouTube channel same day, if possible, if you can get the thumbnails together, and there you go. And now you have this consistent workflow of these videos that can get a couple hundred to a couple thousand views, and you can be cranking them out pretty much on a daily basis. So that's what the workflow actually looks like for a channel like this, if this is what you're trying to do, that's what the workflow would look like. You've already got a good microphone, so I'm going to go ahead and assume from what I'm seeing, the camera and the audio and the lighting looks like it should be solid there, if that's what you're doing. But again, you want to cover these viral stories. For inspiration for this, look to Tim Pool, Asmongold, Brett Cooper, who else is doing it in this style? Anton Daniels, Tim Pool, all of those work for reaction. Nate the Lawyer, Real Attorney, Emily D. Baker, all those people, especially the legal people that cover the lawsuits and the celebrity lawsuits and drama, like all that stuff. So this works extremely well from a workflow standpoint. You shouldn't need a big, Amala Ekpanobi. There shouldn't be a need for you to do massive upgrades. If you ever do any upgrades, you want to do it to like something like first and second camera angles. Yep, Popcorn Planet's another one, absolutely. So you want to do something like that. Your thumbnail packaging is actually really good already. So this, especially for a channel this size, you have like no subscribers yet. They will come, and you can get outsized views like this. I would prioritize this workflow. And some people I know say like 2 to 3 videos a day. It's wild. With this workflow that I'm suggesting, it's not wild because the work is being done for you by doing the live stream reactions and using OBS and setting everything up in advance, setting up your layouts in advance, setting up repeatable graphics, all those things. Because then you don't really have to edit. All you have to do is clip. Instead of editing, you're doing clipping. So, and then if you want to film an outro, so be it. Another person who does this, does a great job of this, is Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews. So John's another creator here in Atlanta. We've hung out a couple of times. I've talked to him about his content and also his studio build and workflow. This is what you want to do, is that you want to set it up so that you have a turnkey solution. You want a turnkey solution for this because, again, you've got the graphics, you've got so you've got that. This is, you can package attractively, so that's great. The main thing is just outputs, because if you can do these outputs and you can make this turnkey solution where you're cranking these out like 3 a day, you're absolutely going to grow and you're absolutely going to get views and you're absolutely going to win. So that's what you'll want to do in this situation. Is it's going to be a workflow thing for you more than anything else. You've got the packaging, you've got the topics, you clearly already 2 videos in, and you can get 160 to 1,400 views in 2 weeks. Your first 2 weeks in YouTube, your first 2 videos in YouTube. You've got this. You just need the right workflow because of not having the experience. And my hope is that I've given you that workflow now with just being able to do the OBS or StreamYard, whichever your preference is, and being able to set up your screens and the sets for the reaction and all your graphics. And if you just do turnkey, because remember, you're filming 3 all at once. You're doing the stories, and you do them probably in 8 to 20-minute segments. So you do 3 of them. You stream for 90 minutes, and then you cut up the individual segments, chop those up. It's just clipping. There's no massive editing workload. It's the VODs. So this gives you 3 YouTube videos in under 2 to 3 hours a day. So under 2 hours a day, usually about 2 hours a day, you could get 3 YouTube videos up with this packaged, scheduled, and ready to go, and do this daily. Absolutely. The main thing you have to do is source the things you want to react to in advance. And that might be a little bit of extra work, obviously, but there's so much chaos in the world that the content will write itself. So for those of you who want to do commentary, culture, news, and reactions, this is your workflow, and this makes it super easy and not a heavy lift to do. At some point, I'll be doing some OBS tutorials for 2025 for you guys. I'll even put together a StreamYard tutorial for you guys at some point here before the end of the year to help with this. And I'll specifically at some point make a full step-by-step guide on how to make reaction videos, because I know a lot of you want to, but you don't know the technical details and how to set it up. So at some point, I will make sure that I do a tutorial around that. But I think that this will work for you. So again, the real sync, hopefully you found that helpful. And now you should have the proper workflow to pull this off. By the way, what do you guys think in the chat? What do you guys think in the comment section? Do you agree with me, disagree with me? Do you have questions about this reaction OBS StreamYard workflow? I'll try to answer as many of those questions as I can. Just let me know in the comments or in the chat. And there you go, real sync. You should be good to go. Yep. Reactions can be a lot of work. It just depends on your prep. Reactions become less work if you do the prep. One of my students, Mugnify Reacts, he came to us with like 3,000 subscribers. He's at over 100,000 subscribers now. He puts out 3 music reactions a day. Sometimes they take a while to pop off. They can take a couple months to pop off. But he has like, at this point, he has like hundreds of videos with over 100,000 views on them, I think. Because he's been pumping out 3 music reactions a day for the last 2 or 3 years. So another student from Awesome Creator Academy, he's at over 100,000 now with reaction content. So we know that it can work, and we know that the turnkey solution of an OBS workflow, or in some cases StreamYard, works really well for people. We've got another super chat here. Hey, Roberto, can you dissect my live stream gaming channel's descriptions? Note any other at a glance things I may benefit from. Update, upgrade. Channel name is at Lyles Nate, as in Nate Lyles. Okay, can do. We'll take a look at that. They make sure in the form that we get Nate's proper channel URL for when we need to queue that up. Let's see. We've got Rooted in Essential Oils coming up. We've got Tyler White coming up as well. Then I think we'll have room for one more slot. Also, I guess we can check in on One of 10, our sponsor, and see how our recommendations for Creator Gear Guide turned out. So for those of you who don't know, one of our sponsors is linked in the description. One of 10 strategy sponsors our channel reviews. So I have a Creator Gear Guide channel mostly focused around photography and camera gear. Some of the initial videos on that were specifically around wildlife photography and video, and using the Sony Alpha 1 camera, which is like a $6,000 camera, and demonstrating some stuff with that. So it gave me some recommendations around this idea of 8K footage or other camera gear stuff. And so these are not bad ideas or premises or leaning into the 8K footage samples, because there are just so few samples of 8K footage when it comes to this. But we're going to try it now with a title generator, and we're going to write a prompt around the idea of camera guides, lens guides, camera gear and setting tutorials, real world reviews, wildlife photography, photo shoots and advice, Sony Alpha camera reviews. And it's going to generate some title ideas for us based on this. Oh, it did that fairly quickly. And so I'm going to try to increase the screen size here so you guys can just get a better look at this. So it said, camera gear every wildlife shooter needs. I would change shooter to photographer, but that's actually a perfect title. And the character limit is really low, so that actually would not get cut off in YouTube and would be easy for people to read. So camera gear every wildlife photographer needs. Absolutely a good title for Creator Gear Guide as a channel. Sony Alpha settings that change my photos. This would actually work for every Sony camera that I have. Sony A9 II settings that change my photos. Sony A7 IV settings that change my photos. So that's a great idea because I could just do that for every camera body that I have, and that would be a good title. Best lenses for wildlife photography revealed. Yes, I'd probably put best zoom lenses or best telephoto lenses, but yes. So this is actually really close. Wildlife photography with Sony Alpha in action. It would be with Sony A9 II or A9 III, but yes, that would be a good title. It would just be a specific camera model, but yes, I could actually do multiple videos and just put the camera model in that title and it works perfectly. This camera tip instantly boosted my sharpness. I would say this camera setting or these camera settings instantly boosted my photos sharpness, but this is really close, so this is mostly done. Teleconverters versus zoom lenses for wildlife photography is the only word you need to add to the end of this, but then that would be perfect. Absolutely. Is this a paid website? Yes, we have a link in the description for you, and if you use code Roberto, they give you 20% off for the lifetime of your account over at oneof10.com if you use code Roberto at checkout. So thank you to them for sponsoring us. Let's see, Sony Alpha wildlife setup you should try. I would say I change that to Sony A9 Mark II, Mark III, whatever camera I'm using, but yes. I would say best camera settings to use for wildlife photography, and then that's an obvious win on a title there. So for what this YouTube channel is, it's pretty much giving me really good title suggestions, honestly. Stop using auto manual settings that instantly improve your photography. Yes. Same thing for stop using auto manual settings that instantly improve your videos. Yes. So those would get me multiple videos out of that. Let's see. Wildlife photography with Sony, and that'd probably be A9 II or A9 III. Full setup breakdown. I'd probably go either full setup breakdown or go full setup and gear guide. This camera gear levels up your wildlife photography instantly. So yeah, that title's almost perfect. Photographing wildlife like a pro, no fancy gear needed. Yep, that would be a good one. Do this before your next wildlife shoot. Pro photography settings guide. Yep, that would probably be the right title for that. So again, Very well done on the title generator for this. I think that this came up with nearly perfect titles in many cases. And so it gave us a lot of them. I actually do think I'll end up having to use a lot of these now that I think about it for Creator Gear Guide, specifically on the photography side. I'd have to prompt it something differently for video centric tutorials, but for the specifically for the photography side, absolutely this is correct. So that is an example of the title generator for 1 of 10 strategy and what it's capable of. And I think that this just like actually shows you that this thing is not playing around. This is actually really good for titles, and it was really fast, and I can actually make those videos. So I think you guys can actually see in action, like, this is a legit tool. This is a legit tool. It's sitting there on a channel that I'm going to resurrect, a channel that I started during the pandemic that I didn't end up keeping up with, but a channel me and my brother are resurrecting around camera gear specifically. So we're going to review all the existing gear that I already have, plus we're going to rent some gear, and it's going to be dope. I mean, primary example here. Just doing a breakdown of this ridiculous rig right here. I mean, real talk. Doing a breakdown of this, that's a video y'all actually would care about. Is, wait a minute, what's he got going on here with this DJI Osmo Pocket mounted on the FX3 with the monitor setup and everything like that. What the heck? This like handle and cage setup. What is this? Like, yeah, this is a crazy rig. But I'm sure you guys would actually, if you saw this and you saw a really good thumbnail of this rig, probably shot, on a tabletop. If you saw this rig shot, with good lighting as a thumbnail, and just like, some arrows pointing to the different things here, y'all know you're gear fiends. You would just click on the video to see what the heck this is all about. So, like, this is something that you absolutely would probably click on, just from a thumbnail standpoint. So, again, I know y'all would click on a thumbnail showing that particular camera rig off. And, by the way, Identity MF, you're saying... show how I got the titles. If you literally just rewind the live stream back a little bit, you'll see exactly how I did that. So it's just you going to the title generator in 1of10.com. But yeah, so you see the planning for that channel just makes sense when it comes to, here's gear I already have, here's setups using cages and rigging and so on, and gear combinations, bodies and lenses. So that's how you would, in this case, position a channel like that. Is I don't even have to be in those thumbnails. In fact, I plan for that channel to actually never be in the thumbnails. My hands at most will be in the thumbnails, but the entire plan is to make those gear videos where the gear is the star of the thumbnail. I'll be in the videos. At some point, I'll be in the videos, but we're really going to focus on the gear for the entire thumbnails. And so that's what we'd be doing. And these titles that I generated with 1of10, and again, it was really easy for it to do this. And again, you can do things like add a bookmark. And you can save that bookmark, for example. And so any of these that I think are really good, I can collect these and I can add them to this folder. But the other thing I can do is I can also tell it to generate thumbnail ideas around a particular title. Now, again, that's something in progress, and that'll like maybe take up to 2 minutes. So in the meantime, I'll just go back to the title generator, and in this case, I'm going to ask it microphone reviews and setup guides for wireless and podcast microphones. Like the DJI Mic 3 or DJI Mic Mini microphone comparison videos, audio interface, buyer's guides, microphone buyer's guides for shotgun and podcast microphones. And it's going to generate some titles for me based on that prompt. And boom, DJ Mic 3 versus Mic Mini. Which one should you get? That one's an easy one that I would already do. Top podcast mics for every budget's actually a really good title idea. So absolutely. So we're going to make another folder to bookmark these ideas to keep it organized. And so like we can totally save these ideas. Shotgun versus lavalier mic, which one's better for you? Actually, yeah, shotgun versus lavalier mic, which one's better for your YouTube videos is how I would rephrase that one, but absolutely, yes. Best audio interfaces for YouTube and podcasting. I'd probably make that top 5 best audio interfaces for YouTube and podcasting because people like comparison videos, but yes. So again, you can see how really good this is at generating titles. So yeah. Ultimate mic setup for YouTube beginners, that's gold. Ultimate mic buyer's guide for YouTube beginners. Budget mic buyer's guide, budget microphone buyer's guide for YouTube beginners. Best wireless microphone for YouTube beginners, and then listing a bunch of them versus each other. Yeah, probably do that. I tested every decent podcast mic so you don't have to. Or I tested every budget podcast mic so you don't have to. That's good. This $99 mic beats $500 pro microphones. Shocking audio test. Yep. That's how I would change that title. So you see, again, my goal is not to literally copy and paste the tiles that gives me. My goal is to improve upon what it's giving me because I understand my audience. I understand how I communicate and all those things. 1 of 10 is not a free tool. It is a paid tool. They're sponsoring today's channel reviews. We have a link for them in the description if you want to check them out. Use code Roberto and they'll get you 20% off. So yeah, take advantage of that. But this is a tool. As you can see, this is literally a tool. If you're going to buy a tool, this would be the one worth buying, and now you know why. But again, that's for our sponsor. And then again, that's to also just show you how well this works. Because a lot of people just, you have to see it to believe it, and at least you got to see it functioning right then and there. So that's what we got for you. Our next channel review is Rooted in Essential Oils. So we'll go ahead and get that up. And then we'll take a quick break to rehydrate after this review. So Rooted in Essential Oils, 2,000 subscribers, 1,400 videos, probably a lot of YouTube shorts. Proud father and husband on a health journey. Mission is to share power of natural wellness, plant-based alternatives. Okay. So let's see. For your live streams, I would make actual customized banners for the live streams, because packaging and branding still matters for your live streams. Also, the graphic here, again, you've got the timestamp for upcoming, covering that up. So for live streams, guys, take advantage of like even looking at how I package my live streams. I don't just throw away the thumbnail. I actually alternate between thumbnails and actually make really nice customized thumbnails for my live streams. So do pay attention to packaging. Packaging always matters. You've got past live streams here. You probably want to, this profile pic, we can't read anything here. It's too small. It'll definitely be small on a phone for sure. Also, Ignite doesn't really say anything about what your channel is. It doesn't say what to expect, how often you're uploading, anything about the value of the channel. So I would just honestly change the profile pic and the banner to actually reflect what the expectations for the channel are. If your face is on camera, and it is, just put your face in your profile pic if your face is on camera. And then from a banner standpoint, you want to tell people what to expect here and how often you're going to upload. For an upload cadence, it looks like it's very sporadic. You want to get to consistency of 1 a week. And I'll be honest, the thumbnails need a hell of a lot of work, and they need to be more consistent. Let's see what your most popular video of all time is. Okay, not a lot of popular videos here. What you want to do, honestly, is you want to really spend a good, you want to spend a good 20 hours learning either Canva or Photoshop. And I mean really learning Canva or Photoshop. And you have to also really buckle down into what is the channel about. If the channel is going to be wellness and it's going to be this stuff, then less personal vlogs probably. And even if you're going to be a lifestyle channel, package it in value for the viewer. You want to do, here are budget products for your health. A primary example would be, if this is going to be wellness related, if it's going to be wellness, then what I would do is I would look at health issues and conditions that are massively common in America. So big, huge lifestyle problems that are massive in America. Diabetes, cholesterol, high blood pressure, anxiety, sleep apnea, insomnia, stress, obesity. And I would position, here are all these healthy things that address all of those problems, and here are things that address those problems for this budget and that budget. Here are these things that do that. I would look up, here are like the most common things that you're told to address your illness. Here are all the natural alternatives that exist for this illness, so on and so forth. And I would position your content and your channel around that. So I think that one of your big issues here is that the channel's value proposition is not made very clear at all in the packaging around the banner, the profile pic, and it's not reflected in the thumbnails, and it's not reflected in the consistency of what videos people are getting from you. So if your thing is that there's this wellness journey and you want to explore plant-based alternatives, and all these things. Home essentials. Do a video where here's all the toxic things under your sink and how to replace them with healthy alternatives. Here's all the toxic crap in your bathroom and how to replace it with healthy alternatives. You know, here's your essential day-to-day health kit. Here is your essential day-to-day health kit for diabetics. Here's your essential day-to-day health kit to beat obesity. Here's your this, here's your that. Here's your one to beat high cholesterol, high blood pressure, all these major common issues. 70% of all illness and 80% of all chronic illness in America is due to lifestyle. Only 7% of health issues in America are genetic disorders. Over 70% of it is specifically lifestyle. The remaining is usually misadventure. So a lot of that can be addressed by videos that you could make that specifically cater to that. Same thing with YouTube Shorts. So again, if this is a wellness channel, position it as a wellness channel and position it with individual solutions as a wellness channel. If it is a vlog, then it's a vlog. But even if it's a vlog, a lifestyle vlog has to have an angle. Casey Neistat's lifestyle vlogs were what it's like to live in New York, and to showcase the best of New York, but also traveling around the world. And he also had specific formats for adventures. So you'd have days in New York, you'd also have these travel days, and what'd he do? He'd show you these experiences of, hey, let me show you what it's like to do first class. Let me show you what it's like to go on a yacht. Let me show you what it's like to go up in a helicopter. Let me show you what it's like to go to this event. Let me show you what it's like to go do this really challenging thing like running a marathon. Let me show you how bad this problem is with the smog and the pollution in New York right now. Let me show you something that's really, really, really interesting and unique. That's how Casey Neistat used to approach it. Fun for Louis, him and his girlfriend, now wife, they would show you their specific travel adventures as a couple traveling around the world, and they would do their bucket list. Lifestyle channels have to have a point to them. Lifestyle channels have to have a point to them. So think about what that looks like. Because again, if you're going to do a lifestyle channel, as in you're going to do a vlog still has to have a point to it. We have to have a reason to know that your life is more interesting than ours. Otherwise, it's not worth watching your life instead of living our life. So if you're going to do a vlog, for any of you who want to do vlogs, that's how it is. Show us that your life is more interesting than ours, or show us how radically different your life is than ours. If you're going to do a lifestyle channel, though, that's meant to be aspirational and help people and be some combination of a lifestyle channel that is also has some educational value, like trying to get people healthy, you have to meet them where they are. And in this case, it's something like addressing the top 5 major health issues in America and positioning here are holistic or healthy or natural or plant-based solutions to those problems. So that would be my review for you, rooted in essential oils. Again, I hope you don't take that as being too harsh, but I really want to make sure I'm giving you something helpful here and something real. I'm not the internet's favorite cheerleader. I like to believe I'm YouTubers' favorite tough love coach, and it is tough love sometimes to tell you guys, hey, sometimes you guys got to get your stuff together. A lot of you, the best thing a lot of you could do is spend 20 hours learning how to make better thumbnails, getting Photoshop, it's $10 a month, or doing Canva and sitting there and grinding out the 20 hours of learning, not just when you have to make a video, but learning how to make stuff look good in Canva, learning about the fonts. We have like 5 or 6 fonts we tell everybody to always use because they make videos look clean, learning layouts, learning those things. Look, if you need something that's going to really help with this, you can get either the YouTube starter kit. If that's too expensive, just get our creator starter pack. We have a $9 creator starter pack that can help you guys. But do something. Spend time or spend money getting your thumbnails and your packaging right. For people looking for the list of fonts, we're going to put them up on the screen again real quick. So these are the useful fonts that always look good in YouTube. Use the bold versions of Babus New, Poppins, Oswald, Compacta, Open Sans, and Futura. These pretty much always work and look good. They're these strong and very good sans serif fonts. Most of you got no business messing with decorative fonts, and you just got to make sure that you're using proper basic color psychology and color theory. Keep things simple. A lot of you, the cleaner and more minimal you keep your thumbnails and stop trying to be too extra, the better. And that's what a lot of you got to work with. But you can learn basic graphic design. You don't got to be a graphic design nerd to spend 10, 20 hours just working on improving these skills. And like I said, learning basic composition, photography, and rule of thirds. Learning basic font choices. I've already done that work for you. Learning basic color theory and how to pair complementary colors. If you struggle with it, I got a simple hack. Steal sports teams colors. The marketing department already spent thousands of dollars on the research to steal sports teams colors. You steal sports teams colors, you can't go wrong. Another one, you can't go wrong with red, white, and blue. America. You can't go wrong with good old red, white, and blue, right? So easy color schemes if you're struggling. The other thing is red and white and black all over. Some of you can still mess that up sometimes, but it shouldn't be that easy to mess that one up, but sometimes it is. Those things would help a lot of you to just improve the packaging around your thumbnails, is to simplify things. Less is more sometimes. And for a lot of you, some of you, messing around with layouts and text isn't even going to work for you at all because you just don't have the eye for it. If that's the case, learn to get an eye for photography, even if it means just using your smartphone. Develop an eye for good photography, layout, composition, and angles. If you can do that, thumbnails can sell on just a good picture. So that would be my advice for the far majority of you. But anyway, so for Rooted in Essential Oils, that is my review of your channel. Hopefully you found that helpful. Chat, let me know if you agree with what I'm putting down here. If you also have any thoughts or you do something differently, let us know in the comment section. All right, we are knocking them out here. Wow, it just turned midnight. So we've got the midnight run going on. Guys, I'm going to go get a refill on some hydration here. You guys chat it up. We'll be back to check in a minute. In the meantime, I'm going to let you guys watch my book trailer. So make sure you check out my book, Create Something Awesome, How Creators Are Profiting from Their Passion in the Creator Economy. We'll try to make sure the mods put a link for you guys in chat. In the meantime, I'm going to go and take a quick break. I finally did it. I finished my book, Create Something Awesome, How Content Creators Are Profiting from Their Passion in the Creator Economy. The book is available now in paperback and in Kindle, where you can read it on any e-reader or device. And I'm really excited about this. The audiobook is coming soon, probably October 2022. Oh my God, it's so great to be able to have this book done, put it up on the bookshelf, and to know that all of you who appreciate it, you want to hear what I have to say about the creator economy, becoming a full-time content creator, and what the experience and lifestyle of being a content creator actually is like. This is the book. I put 20 chapters in here of the most important things I think that content creators could be focusing on today. I talk about the mental health aspect of being a content creator, getting discouraged, imposter syndrome, not charging what you're worth, and mostly actionable advice around monetizing your content properly, but also how to build an audience on your authenticity and what it's really like to start from zero, even today. So if you're interested, make sure you're checking out the book. You can order it on Amazon. You also probably order it in a lot of other places like Barnes & Noble, and it will be coming to other bookstores soon. Really excited about it. Thank you for all the support and love around the book and the positive reviews. Now go ahead and pick it up and make sure you go out there and create something awesome today. Take care. All right, and we are back. So hopefully you guys found that helpful. Let's see. Yeah, I think Rude and Essential Oils said, very helpful. Appreciate the feedback. Yep. Stacy Brooks, welcome, welcome. Let's see. Dude, you're absolutely a fire hose of information. What a valuable place to spend some time this evening. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate you. Rashad McCrory, what's up? Yeah, a lot of people struggle with titles. We also do have another cool tool for you guys. We have over 200 creator prompts with our AI creator prompts product that can help a lot of you with your productivity, brainstorming, and a lot of you who struggle with even just coming up with ideas for your content. So that could help a lot of you guys. If you're not ready for something with a subscription model, that's like a one-time thing you can do. And then you can plug that into the free version of ChatGPT and get a lot out of it because you can just use the free version of ChatGPT, even though you got some limits on that for how many times you can use it in a day. Yes, 1 of 10 is a huge game changer. Absolutely. I got two back-to-back videos that both hit 1K views in the same niche. Is that a good sign? Yeah, it's absolutely a good sign. It's a great sign. Some people can just do their YouTube videos on the phone. It just depends on your content. If you're doing vlogs, you can just do it on your phone, assuming you have a modern iPhone. Taylor Bell shoots, she's at almost 800K subscribers. She's shooting on the iPhone 15 Pro. That's all she shoots on with a DJI mic and a DJI gimbal for it. So very affordable, very reasonable. She does NYC vlogging and travel vlogs to places like Vietnam and stuff like that. And she's a travel vlogger, entrepreneur, lifestyle girly in New York. 800K subs, and she just uses her smartphone and then she edits on a computer on a MacBook Pro because she runs her whole business on MacBook Pro. Plus, let's be real, we all want to edit on a bigger screen than our phone. That's just insane to edit on the phone. So, too small of a screen. So, that's the kind of thing that you want to look at. Again, it depends on your content. Not everyone's content is going to be something that a phone can pull off. And there's also preferences. I just prefer to use a camera for most things. For vlogging content, I would use a phone or I would use my DJI Osmo Pocket. Yeah, our framework for thumbnails is called Vibes, visually attractive, informs via storytelling or interesting idea to glance, as I say, bold text and color, contrast, eye-catching elements, and social proof or status. You want to pass the vibes check. Zolo Q, hey, what's up? Roberto, I've been thinking about what you said last week about a creator panel. I was thinking maybe you should use viewer submitted thumbnails and have people guess what the video is about. I don't think that'll be too productive to have people play guessing games. Most people just, especially since we do streams late at night, people don't have the mental bandwidth for that. But you guys are all welcome to do something like that in the Discord server among yourselves. Because remember, you guys can use the Discord server. I have no issue with you guys. If you guys want to put together your own creator panel and use this idea and have people in the Discord server try to figure out what the video is about, have at it. I just don't think on a live stream most people will have the mental bandwidth, especially since we do late night streams, for guessing what a video or thumbnail is about. I also think it's that productive or helpful for people to guess. The thing is, people shouldn't have to guess. If you do a thumbnail, people should be able to understand at a glance what the video is about. They should understand at a glance what the thumbnail is about within reason, without thinking hard. And that's really important for people to be able to do. they shouldn't have to guess and risk getting the video wrong about what it's about. If they have to do that, they can scroll to a video that's more abundantly clear that it's a video they want to watch. So all of you need to be thinking like that. Some of you take the curiosity factor too far and make a mystery box that no one wants to solve. Most people don't open their phone hoping for a puzzle or to guess. So clear is much better than being clever every single time. If we've learned anything from mainstream media flops at the box office, it's that being too clever is the downfall of most creatives. So yeah, what you're thinking is closer to the idea I had for more like a thumbnail clinic. But for a thumbnail clinic, my idea for that is just to have 3 creators on with me and have like 4 squares for a panel and do like well actually no, I have my plan for that was a title clinic actually. It's a title clinic to where we have 3 people on and we workshop uh a couple of titles for people. We go one by one through the squares and do that and we workshop their titles and their titles and topics. For a thumbnail thing, I think I have to like sit with a creator one on one if we're going to do a thumbnail clinic. I'd have to do those with like a creator one on one. And again, I wouldn't pick people randomly. I would have to like know the creator, know their content, understand their potential, and also make sure I can trust them with the live audience in my platform. I don't want to, put somebody in front of you guys who's going to not respect your time or your space. So, or mine. So, again, a lot of people would want to just be picked for that because of how it would benefit them. But I'm going to pick people from the community that it makes sense and where there's a teachable moment that exists and where they can be helped, and pick people that are coachable. If I do for the title clinics and the thumbnail clinics, that way everyone can benefit beyond just the people that I pick. The people watching need to be able to benefit. So I'm going to pick people that represent a teachable moment and are coachable, and where we can see how, if they're what's working for them, how we might apply it to ourselves. So that's the goal when I eventually introduce the creator clinics, where we workshop, titles and thumbnails. So for titles and topics, it'll be like 3 people in the hot seat plus me. And then we'll do for the thumbnails, it'll be a 1 person in the hot seat thing. So still got to figure out the logistics on that format. Yes, I am using StreamYard to pull up the questions. Yep. Okay. We've got 2 more channel reviews here, and so we've got Nate Lyles, and we've also got Tyler White. So let's go ahead and get into that. We'll start with Tyler. So we got Tyler White here. Keep learning, growing, keep going. Love that. This is super minimalist, super clean. I like that. This will work in basically any device format. So TV, desktop, mobile. So this will probably be really good. Let's see. Um, layout wise, you're early with 28 videos, but you probably still can get 2 or 3 more playlists on this homepage. That would fill this out nicely. So far, it's looking good in terms of the potential. 28 videos, 40 subscribers. Thumbnails already looking good. I like that you're leaning into the black and yellow, black and yellow. So very good. I see some inspiration here from Ali Abdaal. Maybe a little bit of inspiration also from Diary of a CEO or even Clark Cagley. So very good with the thumbnails. So thumbnails, you still can improve a little bit, but I'm going to be honest. Most of your pro thumbnails are a 3 or a 4. Rarely less than a 3 or a 4 on your thumbnails. So well done. Not mad at that. I think your bigger issue is some of them are the titles and some of it is the topic, but you're also doing content that is, it's harder to get people to understand what it's about. I don't think you're at a level where you can put do this in a title because you don't have the authority, sorry, in a thumbnail. I don't think you can make a thumbnail where you say do this and point an arrow because I don't think you have the authority for that to work at a glance. The 4-step system that got me unstuck, copy this. You don't have the authority yet or an audience that's familiar for you for that title to work because of making that claim. So what I would suggest is you have to be a little bit more literal. I would fix this title and thumbnail immediately to be specific about what the system allowed you to do. Got you unstuck. Got you unstuck from what? So I would say, if it was me, this 4-step system cured my laziness. This 4-step system fixed my procrastination. This 4-step system ended my procrastination forever. This 4-step system uneffed my productivity. This is how you, that's how you would do that title. For this thumbnail, I think you need to show maybe a transformation thumbnail with a split on a before and after on that, because you're appropriating the expert thought leader thumbnail, but you haven't established the audience, the value, or the social proof for those claims to work yet. 6 ridiculously effective reading tricks that actually work. This one is not bad. The thumbnail for this could be better. I think that you should A/B test this thumbnail with a thumbnail where you're actually open and reading the book, or that you show you reading the book and you like another shot has a highlighter and shows, oh, this, or has notes in the margins, so that people kind of think, oh, there's something to this. This, I tried all the apps. This one simple habit finally worked. What apps? All the apps is too broad. I tried the best productivity apps, but only this thing works. I tried all the productivity apps. Here's the only thing that works. When you make that claim, that works better, because if you're saying, I tried everything, here is the only thing that works, is now a more specific, intriguing claim of, okay, that's interesting. Tell me more, because I've tried the apps too. Like, what is it you know that I don't know? That's a little bit more appealing there. So I would fix that. Your thumbnails are, most of this are great. Your concepts are strong, but you need to lean more into things like why you forget most of what you read and how to fix it. Do more why this bad thing is happening to you and how to fix it. why this bad thing that you really care about is happening to you and how to fix it. You got 255 views on this in 12 days with like no audience, no status, no social proof. You can absolutely use that title formula and abuse that title formula, and people will not be mad at you, and just help them fix their problems. Absolutely. Identify with their problem and tell them how to fix it. The mindset that fixed my sleep struggles. No, I think you don't use the word mindset for that. I would go more like this one habit finally fixed my sleeping problem. Yeah, this one habit finally fixed my sleeping problem after 8 years. That's a very strong claim. If you tell someone, one, hey, I had 8 years where this problem didn't get fixed and this one thing finally worked, people are going to care about that. So like I would make this title, this habit finally fixed my sleeping problem after 8 years. The 10 habits that fix 95% of your problems, not strong enough. The 10 problems, sorry, the 10 habits that rich people have that poor people don't, or the 10 habits that productive people have that lazy people don't in this case. So actually, I would do this one. For this life-changing habits, the 10 habits that productive people have that lazy people don't. So that's the thing that would probably make the most sense. Let's see. Instead of 20 free tools that will transform how you learn forever, I would say here are the best 20 free tools and apps for students and adult learners. Specific group, specific thing. So again, I think a lot of this is just the positioning and framing of your titles and understanding the audience's preferences, the audience's priorities, the audience's prejudices, and the audience's true problems. Again, you found this the simplest fix for procrastination. You got 100 views on that. Lean into procrastination more. Be direct about it. Don't be cagey about what you're attacking or fixing. Productivity was hard until I learned these 6 things. Blank was hard until I learned these 6 things. So that's what I would suggest here. But again, strong overall start, Tyler. Don't want to discourage you. You actually get a lot right here that other people don't. And fixing titles, this can still work even for all of these videos. If you adjust these titles now, they can still get traction. These are evergreen videos. This is a niche people never get tired of. So well done. And I think there's a lot here that you still can improve on, but you're off to a great start in my opinion. So again, not mad at this one. This one gets more right than it gets wrong, and the fixes for this are pretty straightforward. So I dig it. But what do you all think? Do you agree with me about Tyler's videos? I think that the production looks strong from the previews we saw. The packaging looks good as far as the thumbnails. Topic is strong, but the titles are not as good as they could be. The thumbnails are a 3 out of 5 and a 4 out of 5 in most cases, visually. However, they're not always spot on for the value that the viewer cares about the most. so they could be worked on there. I also think the titles, some of them structurally are 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 5, but their problem is they're not aligning to the audience's wants, needs, desires, their primal triggers, and the phrasing could be better. So they could still be workshopped. They're not terrible titles, they're not terribly written titles, they're just not effective for what the audience values most, what the viewer values most. And so they could be redone. But what do you all think? Do you agree with me? Disagree? Would you give Tyler different advice? Let me know in the comment section if you're watching the replay. Let me know in the chat if you're watching live. And there you go, Tyler. Yeah, I think you did a great job. Thanks, Roberto. This was really helpful. Yeah, I hope that this was helpful for you. As Promise says, what if you're not getting enough data when you do A/B test thumbnails? Small creators run that often. Small creators often don't do enough variation in their A/B test. The best A/B test that small creators could do is a lot of small creators want to put their face in their thumbnails, even though there may not be a reason to. If you're a small creator, the reason that you're not getting a lot of data on A/B testing thumbnails is you're just testing a difference in color or a different phrase in the thumbnail. That's not a big enough variation for most people. Most of you small creators, you're not getting enough data because what you should be doing is test a thumbnail with your face and test a thumbnail without your face. That's what most of you probably should be A/B testing when it comes to a thumbnail. All right, looks like we've got one last channel review, and it looks like it's Nate Lyles. So we'll go ahead and do that. So this is Nate Lyles, variety streamer. He shows that it's Mondays and Fridays, variety gamer, visual artist. First impression is the visuals here are really good. We can see your skill as a visual artist. My one fear is there might be too much variety in the channel without even looking at. Might be too hard for it to find the audience that way. Might be doing too much, but we'll see. So with the live streams, got this packaging. Looks like you're very talented at the packaging. You've got a extensive layout here. Nate, I think you might have to separate what content's going to be on the channel, because I think that it's going to confuse the audience and YouTube in terms of figuring out who is supposed to be watching what. So I think that a lot of also the long form gameplay stuff you're doing probably needs to be live streaming specifically. The best moments of it can be cut for shorts. Let's see what your audience actually is resonating with and what you can double down on, though, and what you're doing well. So let's see. In recent, it's this video from 3 weeks ago in War for Wakanda, Black Panther, and let's see. So Nate, it looks like most of your original content here has focused around like nerd culture and your art and personal projects, and then trying to mix that with gaming. And it looks like you had the channel for a long time. This could probably just be the channel that you dump everything in your head out to, because I mean, I get it. But let me think about, like, if you had a choice, Nate, tell me in the chat. If you had a choice and I make you choose, do you want to be a gaming YouTuber, or do you want to showcase your art on YouTube? And if for either one, what's your goal? Do you want to be a gaming YouTuber with an audience and be monetized and make money as a gaming YouTuber? Do you want 100,000 subscribers? Or do you want to be a visual artist on YouTube, and do you want to get clients and gigs and jobs for your visual art and have people potentially buy your artwork? Like, pick one thing and then tell me your goal in the chat with that one thing so that I can tell you what I think you should do going forward. Because I think that this channel probably just needs to be your archive legacy channel of here's like how I've done things for the last 15 years and here's what I've put out there. Because again, I think it's way too much variety. I think it's too all over the place across the hundreds of videos. I think you are talented as a visual artist. I think you make great thumbnails. I think that this channel has just been around so long. You know, I think this channel has just been around so long that you have so much conflicting data for this channel that it's going to be very difficult to separate and say here is who these videos are for, both for the audience and for YouTube's system. So you see, you're saying monetized gaming. So you're in the chat saying monetized gaming would be the choice. Maybe art can be on Insta or TikTok because I have a video production channel. Okay, cool. So here's the thing. I would start over. As far as a gaming channel, I would start over with a completely fresh channel from scratch. And here's what's working for the creators that I work with and coach when it comes to gaming. If you're going to do variety, you still have to pick a type of game. Now, again, I usually am not going to recommend one does variety, but if you're going to do variety gaming, usually I say just pick a game that has longevity and ride it. Clash Royale, Roblox, Clash of Clans, Minecraft, Fortnite, Valorant. Pick something and stick with it. Usually works. Or if you're going to do variety, I say, well, pick variety with an FPS. Do Battlefield, do Call of Duty, do CSGO. If you're going to do FPS shooters, do FPS shooters, right? PewDiePie, mostly when he started, until he got much bigger, only did horror games. So I would pick something. For you, it looks like what you really like are these comic book centric video games. So if you want to focus on Marvel and DC gaming, I think that that can work if you're going to stick to Marvel and DC or superhero gaming. Comic book video games. All right, so you want to stick to comic book video games. Cool. Start over on a new channel. Stick to comic book video games, but take an approach like one of the OG YouTube legends, the Rad Brad, when it comes to the playthrough stuff. But I'm going to tell you how you do the Let's Plays. Let's Plays work as live streams. Do not make, this is my point of view on the gaming thing, do not make Let's Play videos for the channel. Do all of your Let's Plays as live streams. Do all of your Let's Plays as live streams for these games. The regular videos you're going to do, and you're going to cut up your shorts from the live streams. You're going to cut up your shorts from the live streams in Opus Clip, and you're going to farm your shorts. Your shorts, so you're going to live stream, and you can live stream every day if you want. That's the cool thing about this, is you can live stream your gameplay every day. Then you can cut up the clips in Opus Clip and post 3 to 5 YouTube shorts every day, and that process is going to take you less than like 3 hours or something. As for your edited videos are videos that, in my view, should help people get familiar with the games or break down the characters, the builds, the mods. It's not necessarily that it has to be like always tutorials or stuff like that, but mostly it should help people do that. And then when it comes to videos you can post, if you're good enough at the game to pull off feats, because I'll show you a channel that can pull this off. If you can pull off feats or stunts in a game, like how Onion Butter does, then it makes sense. Like how I beat Hitman 3 without killing anyone. If you can either find a glitch in the game, or you can find an exploit in the game, or you beat the game, or beat a part of the game, or beat a boss doing a specific thing, like how I beat this boss spamming this attack or something, whatever it was, then that makes sense to make a video about it, just like these Hitman games. So again, study Onion Butter's channel. Like, can you beat Hitman 3 like you're actually getting away with it? Can I beat Hitman 3 without anyone seeing me? So if you play a game, like, can I beat this level without doing this thing? Can I beat this level without using this item? Can I beat this level without anybody seeing me? Can I beat this level with no items? Can I beat this level without dying once? I would like can I or beating this game or beating this level with no items, no heals, things like that, right? People will click on that very easily because the truth is that Let's Play as a genre is dying in YouTube. And the only way it really works is for established personalities that already have audiences. The way you get around that is Let's Plays that are based on feats in a game where you do something interesting and or difficult, such as, I just beat this boss with no heals or no damage, right? So if somebody takes an Elden Ring boss, if someone were to literally want to do a Let's Play channel, the answer to it is playing a Souls game, and the only Let's Play videos in that Souls game that person would do, they'd live stream all their gameplay, but the only edited videos they would make would be videos where they show themselves beating a boss with while taking zero damage, because people will watch that. People who don't even play the game will watch that. So you want to do some very difficult to accomplish feat. So I'd start a new channel from zero. I'd live stream on that channel pretty much daily as a gamer. I would pick a handful of the games that I'm going to play in a season and do that. Then I would clip my footage from my live streams and post 5 to 8 YouTube shorts a day, not joking. For shorts, that's what you would want to do. And then I would farm footage from my live stream gameplays or whatever, or when I'm trying to do a challenge. And then I would only make the edited videos around those challenges, or I would make edited videos that can help a new or returning player actually play that game, or I would do breakdowns of items, characters, things in that game, explain it to new and returning players who could get into the game and be as passionate about me, like playing the game. So an example of that is a creator I coached, Obdude. So Obdude is a Clash Royale player, and I coached him. We worked together for a couple of weeks back when he was converting from Clash Mini, because Clash Mini didn't go global, so he had to switch the game he was playing. He had like 4,000 subscribers, I think, at the time. So this is about a year and some change ago. And so he started doing and focusing on this concept of, what if I make Clash Royale videos and that any new and returning player could understand what's going on in the meta of the game. So he did a breakdown, and he made a video where you can spend as little time as possible and understand what's going on with each of these cards in the game. But then also he wanted to explore mid-ladder strategy. So occasionally he'll also do a mid-ladder strategy, or he'll explain a fundamental function of how the game works. So that's what ended up working for him. And as you can see, this has worked out really well as a strategy. For gaming, if you can make content for new and returning players, that typically works. When it comes to live streams, it depends on what you want to do. He mostly does members only live streams. Smart strategy for him. So that, and then shorts, again, also doing well. So he's got every format doing something very, very specific, and it's working. So we figured out how to make him a multi-format creator. So that's what I would say is the approach in YouTube gaming today. And you're saying you messed up by trying to approach YouTube the way Twitch used variety lives. Yeah, I would just do the variety live streaming to YouTube and Twitch and simulcast that on a brand new channel from zero. And then I would clip the shorts from the live streams. And then other than that, I would make intentional VODs. And that's the key. And that's the main thing with YouTube gaming, is that a lot of YouTube gamers have just kind of mistaken the culture and the fundamentals and algorithm of YouTube for the culture that they came from Twitch. It's radically different. Also, too many people are relying on what worked for OG gaming YouTubers back in the day. We are past that era of the big three: PewDiePie, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye. What worked in that era is not exactly the meta of how it works now. Because when they did that, gaming was a novelty. Gaming was a novelty. Gamer identity was a novelty. Gaming was not getting the acceptance. So that's why what they did worked, because they were the vanguard of that. We're in an era where everybody kind of gets it, and gaming is just like, it's there now. Same thing with comic books and stuff like that. So it's the novelty of that is gone. And so now you have to introduce something other than the novelty. And that's why what worked so many years ago is not working today for that niche. But those are my thoughts for Nate Lyles. What do you guys think? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? What did you think of the examples I showed of effective YouTube gaming channels, and what the current meta of YouTube gaming can look like for creators? Again, even the blitz strategy, I've had several people, since I talked about the shorts blitz strategy of 5 to 8 shorts for gaming, it's working. And creators this week have been DMing me saying, oh my God, this is reviving my channel. Why didn't I do this sooner? Why did no one tell me that I can upload 5 to 8 gaming shorts a day and my channel will start actually growing? What the hell? Like, so I put that out there on X, and it's been, people have been DMing me the screenshots of their channels actually getting views. So it's working out for people. So yeah, my streaming the shorts methodology there, I think is very practical. It depends on the game, obviously, and your thing, but it's working really well in a lot of different games. Works extremely well for Clash Royale. Works really good for some other stuff too. Roblox, Minecraft, a couple other things. Like, I'm seeing it work across multiple games. I've worked with in the last 2 years, I've worked with like 120 gaming channels. They're not the only thing. I don't specialize in gaming channels either. That's the thing. I just happen to have a contract with a company that coaches gamers. Or rather, they have gamers and they hired me to coach them in growing their content, because that helps promote the games. So the cool thing about that is I have data in real time on a crap ton of gaming channels, because they all also show me all the analytics. I have access to all the analytics. So I know what's working right now in gaming in real time. I also have coached my own clients with that. I've coached clients in other niches. So we're getting the data on this. YouTube Shorts revenue is also going to double over the next 2 to 3 years, because new advertising is going to come to the market. Neil Mohan's also really good at bringing people from traditional to digital. So YouTube's Shorts revenue is going to double over the next 2 to 3 years for sure. I have no doubts about that. So we've been seeing really good stuff in the gaming space with streaming to shorts and then doing really intentional VODs. And it's been working out for a lot of people. But anyway, what do you guys think? Do you have any other ideas? Do you agree with me, disagree with me? Let me know in the comment section if you're watching the replay. Let me know in the live if you're still watching us live. So there you go, Nate. Hopefully you found that helpful. Where's the highest monetization come? Usually growing to get sponsors and getting members, if I'm being honest. Sponsors, memberships, streaming donations, that's the key. Ad revenue can be but I'm seeing people get thousands of dollars with shorts, but they have to get tens of millions of views on those shorts. But tens of millions of views on shorts for gaming is easier to do when you upload 5 to 8 shorts a day. So, that's the thing. And again, we've been seeing that. If you've been following me on X, I've been posting about it, and we've been having conversations. A client let me share a screenshot. We were able to pull off like 20 million views in a week off of the strategy, and that's with him not even maxing the strategy every day. He missed 3 days of the strategy. So it could have been higher. There's another creator that's doing one a day, but he's never missing a day, that I'm working with, that does it in Minecraft, and he's doing okay. But if he could just get the Minecraft stuff to be at least 3 to 5 a day, he'd be killing it. So yeah. Shorts do pay enough, Rashid. It's just that you're thinking of comparing one short to one regular YouTube video. You don't compare one short to one YouTube video because it's not the same amount of effort. It's comparing 10 shorts to one YouTube video, and then it's worth it. You compare 10 shorts to one YouTube video, not one. They're not one to one. That's what you all are getting twisted. Shorts do pay enough for what they are. Shorts pay enough for what they are. It's less than 3 minutes of content. It's a less than 1 minute or less than 3 minutes piece of content. That is not the same as making an edited video. Shorts in a lot of cases can be repurposed from live streams, so it's not nearly the effort of a regular video. And shorts get 10x to 100x the views of a regular video, which means at a 20-cent RPM, because that's where we're at now, 20-cent RPM, then if it gets 10x the views, that's the equivalent of like the $2 RPM on a regular video that won't even get those same views. Or if it gets 100x the views, it's certainly worth it. And then when you're uploading in bulk of them, it's worth it. Shorts are good in plenty. The mistake all of you are making is comparing one short to one YouTube video when it's more closer to 5 to 10 shorts per one YouTube video. That's also why we have the shorts blitz strategy, because there's no point in like messing around. Oh, one short a day. There's no point. It's 3 to 5 shorts a day. Again, if you're going to try to really take advantage of short form, it's 3 to 5 of those a day, if not 5 to 8 of those a day. I'm not kidding. Those people make money off shorts. The other thing y'all are misreading about shorts is y'all are only thinking small in terms of YouTube. It's not occurring to you guys that you can take those same shorts and then double the money by posting them to TikTok and to Snapchat and to Instagram and Facebook Reels and monetize there. That's not occurring to a lot of you. It's not occurring to you that you can use the shorts to grow verified followers on X watching your shorts, and then you make money on X as well. You can repost the same shorts to 5 platforms. If you're doing 5 to 8 shorts a day, and then you literally schedule those to roll out to 5 other platforms that you can monetize, then tell me they're not worth it. Then tell me they're not equal or better than a regular YouTube video. Y'all are missing that. Then when it comes to TikTok, y'all are missing the opportunity that TikTok's a completely algorithmic feed. It's not an archival feed like YouTube. It's not evergreen in the same way that YouTube is. And the TikToks don't pay you forever like YouTube videos do. Like, so after 3 months, you're not making money off those. 3 to 6 months, no one remembers the TikToks that they watched in 3 to 6 months. You re-upload the same ones again. And you monetize them again. And you print money again in 6 months when no one remembers that you already put that video out. And you have 5 to 8 of them per day to put out. And you're putting out such a volume of them that no one would even remember whether they watched that same thing 3 or 8 months ago or 6 months ago, and you've monetized it again. And there's no penalty in that for TikTok, unlike YouTube. YouTube, you don't do that because there is an archival evergreen system and you don't want to do the duplicate content in YouTube, and there is a cannibalism thing there, but in TikTok there's not. In Snapchat there's not. So in TikTok and Snapchat, in 6 months, you literally take the same archive of content and start re-uploading it again, in addition to all the new content you have, and then you're doubling up the money every 6 months. Oh, but short form's not worth it. You guys are not being inventive enough or thoughtful enough about the short form. You guys have not thought it through. You haven't thought it through. Short form can absolutely out earn long form if you do it correctly using a higher level strategy, you know? And again, this chat, you guys are great. You guys are great. But this is what gets on my nerves about people who say that, YouTube coaches never offer any insights. They never tell you any real tips. They never tell you anything useful. They never validate anything. It's like, I literally just gave you guys the formula for printing almost unlimited money. From short form, no less. From short form, no less. The other thing is if it's a gameplay, if you're doing gameplay content and you're doing gameplay-based shorts on TikTok, the other thing that no one even thinks about is that they could literally get a second device, and a lot of you have 2 phones anyway. You get a second device that's never logged into the original TikTok account. You make another TikTok account, you get that one monetized, and you don't even have to edit the gameplay. You just upload in a different order, and then it's like, because they aren't even punishing people who steal your content from YouTube anyway. So you just make a second account, just like the content thieves, and you can make a second account on a second device and literally put out the same gameplay content in short form with a second account on a second device in a different order and monetize it again. And so, there you have it. Like, there you have it. But yeah, for coaching, you guys can go to awesomecreatoracademy.com or awesomecreatoracademy.com/coaching for any of the coaching information. I saw a couple of people asking about that. All the details are there. You can also join the Academy Pro group. If you stick around to the end of the stream, we always end the stream with the details of what the Academy Pro group offers. You can join that. That's more affordable for some of you than coaching. We meet twice a week in our private group with live streams, and you get office hours twice a week, and we also get access to the group throughout the week to post thumbnails, get feedback, so on and so forth. So you could definitely also look at the Academy Pro group. We'll give you details for that here in a moment at the end of the stream. But you can also check out awesomecreatoracademy.com/join to learn more. So definitely that opportunity. How would I time the 3 to 5 or the 5 to 8 shorts per day? Usually what I recommend and what's worked for our creators is spreading them out by 45 minutes to an hour, and therefore you're not flagged for spam. And this is fairly normal on YouTube. It's obviously normal for TikTok. A lot of people know about that. But yeah, that's about how you would do it. And it's working out fine. Like I said, over on X, I posted a screenshot. Jake gave me permission. Like, I can only post screenshots from my client stuff when they give me permission in terms of, oh, we'll prove this, prove that. And like we showed that with Jake. And so he did like 25 million views in less than 7 days on it, roughly about $2,000 in ad revenue from that, from the short form. And so that worked out. And that was from clipping his live stream gameplay, running that through Opus Clips, scheduling that out, and just doing a short splits. And the goal is to maintain the short splits for the next 30 to 90 days at least, because it's also the short form gameplay is evergreen, so it's going to make money, get views, get subs in perpetuity. He grew by about almost 5,000 subs in a week from that And he's growing already. He's a 30K channel, but we're gonna try to get him to 100K as quickly as possible. And we think that with this strategy, we think that he could grow by 10, 20K a month, and we could speed run the growth with this strategy and the compounding. So it'll be really interesting just to see how that plays out. The thing he's not doing is he's not asking for the subscribe in those videos, because what he'd want to do or need to do is film a 2-second verbal call out for that, to ask for the subscribe, say, hey, subscribe for more at the end of every one. That would increase him significantly on the speed of the growth. But he'd just have to film some endings he could cut into the end of all of those. So he'd probably just film 5 or 6 versions of a visual verbal call out for subscribe for more. In his case, he'd probably want to film them against his green screen, and then have those on deck to edit into the videos on the back end of Opus, just for everyone. The turnaround on editing those shorts is roughly is roughly 15 minutes is the turnaround for each of those shorts. So again, it's not killing a ton of his day to do it. So he does the live streams, then it's 15 minutes a pop at most to edit the shorts with his workflow. So yeah, that's about right. So yeah, so using that workflow. Now there's a way for people who are not doing gaming to take advantage of the short split strategy. The way you would do it if you're not doing gaming is you find and come up with enough topics to do a 30-minute session where you film direct to camera like this, and you'd film direct to camera, and you'd go through questions that will always be searched, Googled, or asked by the person in your niche. Like again, if it's tech, that's super easy, right? If it's camera gear, super easy. If it's subject matter expertise, whatever it is, education, that's really easy, right? So you'd film those things, and you'd do it, direct to camera or slightly off camera, like a fake podcast with the mic, and then pretty much like this. And then you'd film it all in one take. You go through the questions, you do your pauses, you do your breaks, whatever, and you film a batch of like 15 of these questions. You take it into Opus Clip, and then it'll do the clipping for you, add the animated text, and you could do some minor tweaking and editing there, and it'll do the selects. And so then every one of those will not take longer probably than 10 minutes to edit a piece. So your turnaround is, for this whole trip, is probably 2 hours, but you, in that 2 hours, get to upload 3 shorts a day, 5 days a week on an info education channel. And that would be your version of a short splits on an info education channel. And you could do that weekly and not burn out, and cover the most important questions in your niche. And you'd be getting out. Now you could take that slightly further or more extreme, film a little longer, and you could go 5 for 5, 5 shorts answering questions, 5 days a week, 25 a week, 100 a month. That's another smart strategy for short splits for an information-based channel that's not gaming. For lifestyle and thought leader channels, lifestyle channels would literally just break up a vertical version of a daily vlog as the extended version of how they would do Instagram stories anyway, or how they do TikTok vlogging anyway, and do those in YouTube shorts and let people follow along with that. And that's how a lifestyle channel would approach it. A lot of female YouTubers are doing this successfully. And so travel YouTubers as well are doing this successfully. And so that would work. And that's how you do the short splits for that lifestyle type of content. So for those of you doing stuff more like anime, for example, the easy one is just to do breakdowns and lore videos, comparisons, hypotheticals, and you could, again, film those back to back. Your editing workload as an anime channel will be a lot heavier unless you're using an animated anime avatar, or unless you're going to use the green screen hack of film on green screen, run your opinion, have something going in the background. Then the editing, again, is still very minimal for all those shorts, about roughly 10 to 15 minutes a short. And so you could do 5 for 5, put out 100 a month, etc., and that'll work. So that's how you would approach that from a short form standpoint. Commentary videos, it's also very similar. You do your live stream commentary similar to what I did about clipping the VODs and doing the 3 a day on the VODs. You can then also get the soundbite snippets and things out of that for short form, or film intentional short form reactions of the story you covered as a reaction or a commentary news or politics channel. So that'd be the format for that. For reference on that for short form, you would look at how someone like Popcorn Planet or how Brett Cooper does it, for example, and that would work. Or again, Amala Ekpanobi, how she would do it. So those would all work. So again, it's about workflows and it's about the technicals on that. The easy thing for some of it is, like, I have a monitor for the chat directly under camera 2 here. I have a teleprompter that I'm not using as a teleprompter, that I'm using as a mirror for like eye contact for this camera here. And then, as you know, for this one, I actually use a splitter for a monitor for number 4 there. So like, and then I have a third camera angle I rarely use. But the thing is, the workflow, systems, and technicals is what makes a lot of these things work. And that's another bit of the advice that I give my clients is, here's what hardware and software makes your life easier, makes these things faster. A lot of you didn't know about Opus Clip. Link is in the description for that. That's my affiliate link. If we can get them a link in the chat for Opus Clip. Again, this will solve the workflow for short form. It can do the scheduling for it for you to multiple platforms and send it out. So that'll actually speed up the time and automate that process. It can do it to multiple accounts. If you have 2 TikTok accounts, it can go to both your TikToks or whatever scheduled for different times. It can go to your X. It can go to your Instagram, your Facebook, your YouTube Shorts, whatever. So there's that. StreamYard and Opus Clip for your reaction, commentary, and live streams, or your gameplay for you do OBS. You do OBS for the gameplay. So again, it's these workflow things. It's hardware and software. The Elgato Neo capture card, I gave my brother that. That's $99. I have like an X here just in case I need it. Those work really good for those of you who are gamers who want to also get the high end of your gameplay. There you have affordable video capture cards now out there at $99 with the Elgato Neo. So most people's big issue is they just don't understand the workflow. They don't build systems. They don't know the hardware and software. They also don't know how to identify what their audience values more, what their audience values most, and how to best utilize that. They don't have clarity on their niche. Sometimes too much variety is confusing. So yeah, it's a lot of these things. The notifications limit for YouTube is for the 3 long forms, unless you're also doing community tab post. The notification limit of 3 uploads does not include YouTube Shorts. Also, if you guys study analytics or you watch any of my previous analytics live streams, if you go to the live tab on YouTube, I do massive breakdowns of YouTube analytics for you. You all will find that notifications are not helping you as much as you might think when it comes to YouTube. So prioritizing, my notifications limit is not as big of a detriment as a lot of you might assume that it is. Again, times for spacing, an hour apart. A lot of you worry way too much about what time should I upload something. Theoretically, the best time to upload is, okay, what geography is most of your audience in? East Coast, West Coast, what country? Okay, and when are they awake? But also, you all are overthinking what time do you upload something, because a lot of you are being impatient on views. My strategies revolve around evergreen views. We don't worry about what a video is going to get in views today, tomorrow, or this week. We worry about how a video is going to perform over 90 days or a year. I'll give you a primary example of why I don't bother to worry about it. Again, sometimes people razz me like, oh, your video's not getting views or whatever. It's like, I'm waiting for my expectation of when I should worry about how well my video is doing is tell me how well that video is doing in 2 years, not in 2 months. Now, again, that's me but I'm positioning against that, but that's also because YouTube is a long game. Because watch this. Here's a video that did not do well the first day I uploaded it. It didn't matter. First day I uploaded, I have 600,000 subscribers. First day I uploaded this, it got 1,500 views. People were like roasting the hell out of me for that. This video is getting over 100 views a day now, by the way. And it's almost to 50,000 views now, and no one's saying this is a bad video now, but it solves a very specific problem. How do you use copyright legally in YouTube? So what I did was, this video is an evergreen video that gets 100 to 200 views a day, forever, by the way. It'll get these forever. This will obviously become, eventually, a 100K video, because it's getting... it ranks #1 in Google for its search. It gets ranked in ChatGPT. It gets recommended by ChatGPT and Grok for answering the problem. And people say it's one of the best, shortest answers to the problem they've ever seen. And it demonstrates that the thing it says works with regard to copyright. So since this video is super effective, it keeps getting views. And so, but it didn't perform the first day. So many of you worry about the first day or even the first month of a video, and you're impatient. If you're going on a binging, like, upload consistency strategy, then your videos accumulate over time. And this one is not even an anomaly in the sense that I will show you a similar video that was actually uploaded in a relative similar time to this one. This one's got something similar going on. It's a different video, different value proposition, but it was uploaded the same week as that one. Similar outcome. Oh, here we go. This one performed even worse on the first day, but it doesn't matter. Again, over 100 views a day, and it's still going, and it's going to keep going, and it's going to keep going. So, same thing. This video did horribly the first day that I uploaded it. First week I uploaded it. First 90 days that I uploaded it, this video did terribly. So this video did like 1,500 views its first day, struggled to get 20 views a day on it, and then up 200 views a day, 300 views a day, 500 views a day. So again, a lot of you are too worried about how a video does right out the gate, and you have no patience for how well it can do long term. The click-through rate on this started out as garbage, and it currently enjoys a 20-25% click-through rate. The average is 13 because it's counting rock bottom in the average. It's counting rock bottom in the average, but it's currently enjoying like a 25% click-through rate right now. Like if I go closer to September here, it's like, yeah, it's enjoying a 25% click-through rate right now. But it's patience. I had to let this video cook. So letting the video cook does matter for some of your content. It's also why I tell you guys that it can be worth it to really pursue evergreen content and be consistent with evergreen content. If I never stopped doing daily videos, I'd be over 1 million subscribers. We kind of know that. I'm going to eventually go back to daily content here. I just have to, one, get super healthy again. I have to get super healthy again because this is a little harder at 40 than it was at 30, to be honest with you. So I've got to get my health completely under control. Streaming is easier for me. But between getting my health under control, getting some of the setup the way that I need it to be faster, reducing the editing burden since I don't need to over edit, if I can put out 3 to 5 videos a day, if I'd done that the whole pandemic, which I couldn't do for a lot of reasons, including getting sick, if I'd done that, I'd be at 1 million subscribers now, and you know, I definitely would be having more of these types of videos. But you just have to think about the long term with YouTube in general. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And if you can do enough outputs, enough of them overperform, And so it's really just understanding how this works. And it's why I try to teach you guys about the analytics and how it works, because a lot of you are measuring the wrong things. A lot of you are measuring the wrong things, and sometimes measuring them in the wrong way. But that's not your fault. A lot of it is also there's been misinformation. There's also a bias with big YouTubers' point of view sometimes that doesn't consider the working class content creator, the creator who works 40, 50 hours a week and then still has to make content. Some of my workflow stuff might seem extreme, but it's actually not, because my workflow stuff is actually meant for a creator who might only have 10 to 20 hours a week to make content. So, that's where I'm at with it. But we got some stuff here in the chat that I want to cover. We got a couple of questions. We'll try to do reviews again next week. Some of you missed it earlier, but my voice is giving out, so we're kind of done for tonight. So just if you come back next week, we might do that. How do I come up with the 10-to-1 shorts long form ratio? Mass examination study, and then also the ratio of effort in turnaround time on average for one YouTube video versus X amount of shorts. So that was a lot of it. And then I also measured the RPMs on average across niches, because I compile all this data. Like, basically the short version is I'm a nerd who has way too much investment in this, so that's how. And yeah, it is almost equal work. 10 shorts versus one video would be about roughly the equal amount of work. So it's an effort to outcome ratio on that as well. Yeah, again, I showed you guys multiple channels that have long form, shorts, and live streamings and succeed well at all of them. You guys need to stop thinking about, and by the way, we just got a super chat. We'll put you in for next week. The mods will add you to the list. We'll just start with you for next week as promised for that super chat. So thank you. But the truth is, we've shown you guys multiple channels that do long form, short form, and live streams and succeed at all of it. It's about how intentional you are about it and going into that with a plan. A lot of people can't make that work because they're still just making whatever they want. They're not going into it with a plan, a strategy, and here's why the audience will handle this format this way. They're also treating all their formats the same. You don't treat shorts the same as a normal video. You don't treat normal videos the same as live streams. You do, and a lot of people also are not doing their live streams right. They're not packaging their live streams for replay value, for repost value, for repurpose value. There's a strategy. There is a playbook going into this. I know a lot of creators like go, oh, there's no rules, there's no playbook, there's no this. It's about, well, if you have a goal, treat this like a sport. Treat it like a sport. It's okay for people who have a lot of talent and unlimited money and are just naturally gifted to say that it's all luck and that there's no plan and just go out and be yourself. Easy to say when you're 6 foot tall and a D1 athlete, my friend. Easy to say when you are a strapping, handsome lad, my friend, that, oh, it's all luck, it's all good, just be yourself. Great advice. 6'2" strapping lad, fantastic advice for you. The rest of us might have to work harder for it, so the rest of us might have to come in with a plan because we're not as blessed as you. So that's a thing, right? So you have to go into things understanding, here's my goal, here's where I'm at, here's what standards are looking like for people who are successful, here's the gap between me and those standards, here's people's expectations and what they say yes to, and here's where I'm at. Let me start doing the work to close that gap a little bit more, raise my abilities to match a standard that's working for other people, figure out how to compete there. And so that's the kind of thing. So again, there's more than one approach to all of this, but we just try to map as much of it as possible. Let's see. Is there a short split strategy for educational channels? Yeah, I already told you guys. Just rewind 5 or 10 minutes and you'll see it. But if you rewind 5 or 10 minutes, you'll see exactly what I said for education channels. It's a 5 for 5 strategy, 5 days a week, 5 shorts videos, 25 a week, 100 in a month. The way you do it is you sit there and you batch 15 minutes, you film for 30 minutes, you film 15 questions in your education niche that people always have, always look up, always search for, will always care about, will prioritize, will pay attention to. You film 15 questions in one sitting, in one video, back to back. You take that, you clip it in Opus Clip, you package it up, you refine it, you spend 10, 15 minutes editing every one of those. The round trip on this is 2 hours, and then you've got 15 videos. You do a couple batches of these, and then you post 5 of them a day, Monday through Friday on an education channel, 25 for a week, 100 for a month. That's your short split strategy for education. And if you're like, what if I run out of questions? There's more than one way to ask the same question. You create variations of that. You create twist on that. And then shorts aren't always going to be questions. Sometimes it's reverse engineering the answer. Sometimes it's like, here are the best 5 things for that question. Here is that thing as quick as possible. There are multiple ways to phrase even a single question or the goal that a single question has behind it. Yeah. Looks like we got some people posting super chats to claim their spot for next week. So the mods will definitely make sure you get in there if you're doing that. So we definitely appreciate you guys. Appreciate all the super chats. Appreciate all the channel members. Channel members, do remember when you get a chance to watch the 2 keynotes I uploaded from my speaking engagements at VidFest from a couple of weeks ago. So those are available for you guys to watch if you're members. And again, we're about to close out here for the night. You guys are about to learn more about the Awesome Creator Academy Pro Group. So if you want to do that or you want to do one-on-one coaching, we have links for everything in the description. Shout out and thanks to all our mods. They've been posting those links for you guys in the chat, answering questions even when I can't quite get to them. So we definitely appreciate you guys. And of course, we will see you next week. So good night, everybody, and take care.
Becoming a content creator can be a very lonely process and adventure, but it doesn't have to be. When I first got started going from 0 to 100,000 subscribers, I had to do it all by myself. I didn't have a community of like-minded and like-hearted creators to talk to or to ask for advice, and I certainly didn't have a mentor to guide me along the way. I built the Awesome Creator Academy Pro Group because when I was getting started, what would have meant the world to me is not to have to struggle alone when it comes to being a full-time content creator. If I had had a community of creators that I could talk to and share information with, I would have avoided a lot of mistakes in my early career, and there would have been opportunities with brand deals where I would have gotten a better understanding of how to negotiate, and I wouldn't have undersold myself. I wouldn't have been taken advantage of in those early situations. So in the Awesome Creator Academy Pro Group, myself and our co-instructor Andy Rivera, we meet twice a week for office hours with our creators, and we share information, we talk about how we're building our creator businesses, and we offer constructive criticism and critique on the things that we're working on for our projects. You'll be part of a community of usually around 100 like-minded creators who are taking this seriously just like you are. You'll also have all access as a pro group member to all of our past, present, and future courses, training, templates, digital downloads, and swipe files. You have full access to our creator blueprints where you'll see our systems and the frameworks that we use to execute. You know, you always fall or rise to the standard of your systems. A lot of people really underestimate how important that is. We have digital download templates that can help you so you don't have to start with a blank canvas. These done for you files are actually incredibly helpful, especially for things like your thumbnails, your media kits, and anything you need for your branding as a content creator to look professional. We have email swipe files that help you with reaching out to brands. We have great information in helping you price yourself and build your packages appropriately. And remember, as part of the pro group, you have the opportunity to ask questions from myself and all the other creators participating. And so this means that if you need to ask questions about a negotiation or a brand deal, there's something you're not sure about, you're trying to find a better monetization opportunity with merch or affiliates, you have people who have done it before, who are already making money, that you can reach out to for advice. As I said, when I was starting out and I was flying solo, this is the thing that I wish I'd had the opportunity to be a part of, and it would have made all the difference in the world in helping me be an even more successful content creator. If you have questions, you can always reach out via support. We're happy to help you figure out if the pro group is right for you. Also, we do have the opportunity if you become a VIP member, if you also would like quarterly one-on-one coaching with me directly. Now go out there and create something awesome today, and hopefully we'll see you in the pro group. Take care.